All right, welcome back. We are here with episode, I think it's like 35 that we've done so far. And we are here with the lovely Chanel Laren
What's up, guys?
from the Unnamed Music Show. She was here earlier with us when we did our VMA review, so make sure you check that out. And I'm also here with my brother,
Mickey Dunn.
Mickelson Dunn. So we're just gonna catch up with you. I think this episode is actually gonna be like a pop culture episode. We got to catch up on our pop culture, what's going on in the world. So you text me a couple days ago.
You meaning me?
Yes, sorry, folks.
Because they can't see us.
Yes, Chanel.
Yes.
Text me about this god awful thing called the TLC story or something like that. I'm only saying like I haven't seen it.
No, I'm just used to him slandering everybody that I like.
I
so
can't
I can't
imagine,
even get offended.
I can't imagine it being good based upon like the cast. We had like who do we have? We had
Lil
Keke
Mama,
Palmer, Lil
Drew
Mama,
Sidor, yeah.
and who?
Drew
Juicy
Sidor.
J. Who?
Drew Sidor.
Drew Sidor.
Yeah.
I've never even heard of her before. She knew?
No, if you were a fan of the game, the TV show, she was on there as herself. She's a singer.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
So, Mickey, did you see the show?
Absolutely not, but not because I had hate. I just wasn't in the
Wait,
mode
I just need
or
to-
mood.
So we're having this podcast, and I'm the only one who saw it. How is this productive?
I stayed abreast.
Okay.
I stayed abreast through Twittering
Uh-huh.
and through other social networks. And I was told,
And why didn't you watch it?
uh,
Give me your number one excuse.
at certain things like that, I have to be in a certain mode. It wasn't that I had something against it. It was like I needed to be in that mode. I wasn't in the mode to watch that. I don't know.
Okay. So you might catch a rerun.
Yeah, like when I'm in the
Okay.
mode, like it's like when even anything like that, like stories about people's lives, it's like
Yeah.
I have to be a certain mode to even take that in. So it's like, from the 5 heartbeats to the, if
Yes,
it comes
Eddie
on
Kane.
TV or something, sometimes it's like,
Mhm.
I don't want to see that right now.
Okay.
But then if I'm in that mode where I'm like, then I'll see
Right.
it. It's not, but I knew a lot of that story anyway, but
Of
I do
course.
want to see it to kind of see how much it's on point.
Yeah.
But I heard it was, all the girls that I know said it was great.
Everybody who's familiar with the Unnamed Music Show, people think that I'm a harsh critic.
That's what the comments say.
That's shout out to the fans and the haters.
It's all in love.
Right. I grew up with TLC. Like before there was a Destiny's Child, TLC was, In Vogue was kind of like, eh.
Get a TLC background music, Mickey.
Okay, so
Go ahead.
So yeah, I grew up listening. I can't concentrate. I really can't. Well, anyway, I grew up listening to TLC. Like, I think every little girl, everybody was like, you were a member. So like, I was always chilly because I was like closest to her complexion. My homegirl Sierra was T-Boss, and then her little sister was left out. I can't. Can you stop? I cannot.
So I creep.
Like I cannot. And I don't even know what he's singing.
I was singing Creep.
I can't though. I can't. It's too much. Yeah. So I remember when MTV was great. Like when TLC performed at the MTV Awards. I remember when Suchin Puck and Tabitha Soren and Kirk Lauder. Yeah. When MTV was, I only used to watch BET for Video Soul and Teen Summit back in the day, but MTV was like my staple. Like they covered every genre that I was into, and TLC was a big part of that. So I remember when Left Eye died. I remember where I was. I cried like she was my cousin. Like this is before the word stan even was created. Like I felt a part of TLC. So when I heard it was making this movie, I was here for it, And I think as far as the casting is concerned, look-wise, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I was saying dead on.
Oh, yeah, look-wise, Lil Mama was amazing. And I'm not a Lil Mama hater or a fan, but just the way she embodied Left Eye from everything was, it was so eerie. Like, it was parts I was watching it where I couldn't tell, like I knew I was watching a movie, but I had to squint, like, Little Mama has green eyes, so she had to wear black contacts to play Left Eye. But the mannerisms, her face, just everything. It was just like, wow. Like, if she doesn't do anything else in her career, she is good. Like, she felt like she was here for a purpose. Like, this Left Eye story was her big moment. So if her career crashes and burns and she never, like, does anything, this is for her. Drew Sidor, she said that her and T-Boss have this connection because her father's a doctor. And she's been a spokesperson for like 8 years for sickle cell anemia, and that's what T-Boss has. But dead on with the wig, and she's a little bit taller than T-Boss, but as far as her mannerisms, face, it was on point.
It seemed that way. I'm glad you said.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that because from the pictures, it seemed like T-Boss was a bit taller than the T-Boss on the movie.
Yeah. So, like, Lil Mama was like dead on. Keke Palmer and Drew Sidor are taller than Chili and T-Boss. I think the only weakling out of the three was Keke Palmer because Chili is a lot thinner than Keke. Like, Chili has always been flat-chested her entire career.
2 bee stings.
Yes. But again, back in the day, it wasn't about breast and implants. People just thought she was the sexiest thing.
Baby hair.
I gotta disagree with that. Who
was the sexiest one of you?
Chili.
Were you not listening to what we just said?
Oh, I'm sorry. No. I was listening.
We just said that even though she had 2 bee stings, people always consider her to be the sexiest member.
Nah. I disagree with that.
So what are you saying?
I think everybody like T-Boss. I think everybody loved T-Boss.
From my growing up and boys, everybody was for Chili.
I thought everybody was for
Everybody was pretty.
I thought I was the only one that was for Chili that
everybody was, well, depending on where you were. Because Chili.
Everybody knew was for. I know my personal thing was Chili.
Yeah.
Everybody I knew was Chili. But I knew a few T-Bosses. Because she's the lead singer. Like, when I first, just a small interjection. When I first got into it, it was that Baby, Baby, Baby song.
Mm-hmm.
When they had the college, and I thought college was going to be just like that.
Let me tell you something. That was a great, I'm glad you mentioned that. Because back in the day, like, it was TLC and Salt and Pepper, and they always did college stuff. They always were about AIDS awareness, and it was about community. When you think about groups today, it's nothing. It's no form for that. Yeah, Shake That Ass, Red Nose.
Shake That Ass. Yeah, I heard. I finally now know who the guy is.
So I'm on 106 and Pop before I came.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Strange.
That I can't lie. That T-Boss had a big part in that video. So it's like you see T-Boss first, and I can't lie. I mean, you couldn't lose on either or. But when Chili came in there, I was like, unfortunately, okay, maybe socially I had been a little that wavy hair thing and the half Indian
and I
type
think that's
looking
what a lot of
thing
people
kind of threw me. It was like
them.
I was like, who's that one? Left Eye seemed like the homegirl. Like, I would be so cool with her. Like,
right.
As far as, like, her being crazy and all that stuff. I'd be like, yo, you.
Like, you would smoke with her.
Yeah, she's the type of chick you smoke with.
Yeah.
Now knowing what I know about Chili, I might have made a mistake. Because I would have went at Chili first. Right. And Chili would have been. But
she wanted to get knocked up. So you probably should have just went with T-Boss.
She might have clinched me. She might have clinched me.
They made. I can't deal with you. Jesus Christ. In this movie, they made T-Boss out to be a thug. Like, I knew she was rough around the edges, but the Drew Sidor portrayal was like, can I say the N-word on here?
What do you think, Mickey? Can she say the N-word?
It's said so often. Let it go.
She was like a nigga, like Mary J. Blige to me is no matter what she wears, that tattoo, she just like just hardcore. Brooklyn Blige, yes. And T-Boss was just hard in this movie, and I was like, where's her femininity? Like, even when she had a child, I was like, I didn't know T-Boss was this hard. Like, yo, what's up? Like, I knew they wore baggy clothes, but she was like a thug, more of a thug than Left Eye, and I always thought Left Eye was the hardest one in the camp. So that was interesting to see.
So what would you give it? Like, what would you give the show?
Someone asked me that the other day, and I said I would give it a 8 or 8.5.
That's pretty impressive for a TV movie,
And this is the thing. I watched it. I didn't have any expectations. I was just like, you know, I'm here for TLC all day. I hope, you know, it's not horrible. Because I was with TLC in '94, I knew I saw all the interviews, the press conferences. I used to read Right On Magazine, Fresh, Vibe, all of that. So I feel like I saw every interview that ever was of the real TLC, and I knew all of this. I knew Pebbles was a rapist, as far as financially raping them, not physically.
Right.
But shit, it's like physically. When you get a $25 stipend a week and you're the #1 girl group, that is rape. Seriously.
Well, I think that's commendable for you to say that because, you know, most of the times when you have that frame of reference to go on from your career, they can, from your past, a lot of times they can only mess it up.
Right.
You know, so I think that even makes it even better because you knew what was going on back then. As for somebody like me, I knew what was going on, but I didn't go look at interviews like that. I had a next door neighbor who used to dress up just like T-Boz.
When I tell you, me and my homegirls, like, we reenacted the whole Creep video. We knew the dance moves. Like, I used to study music videos, like dance moves, the clothes. Like, I was a tomboy, so I was here for it. Like, I was all about the midriffs and the baggy pants and the Tommy Hilfiger boxers. I was, like, all about it. 90s. Like,
how weird is that? Well, that's like almost a male thing looking back. Like, you know, like the way the way TLC dress was kind of masculine.
It was. You know? And that's just like, it was masculine, but they were still feminine. And they weren't trying to be something they weren't.
I remember Left Eye like grabbing her crotch in the daggone. What video was that? No.
I know what you're talking about.
Oh,
Did
God.
she have on a flannel?
She had the one where she
with
had
the sports bra?
It was the one. What was one of their first videos?
Head to the back? Or Ain't Too Proud? Yeah.
I think it was Ain't Too Proud to Beg. Yeah.
And it's so crazy. I never knew. I you know how some songs they just miss you.
Yes.
Ain't Too Proud to Beg. That missed me for so long. Like, I loved the song. You know, I knew it was a feminine song. I knew it wasn't like the song for me.
Right.
But I didn't really know what it meant. Like, I just thought it was just a great song. Shows great songwriting because I was like totally. And then one day I listened to it and said, Ain't Too Proud to Beg. Oh, that's what that means.
So a lot of whoever.
Yes.
I think they were working with like Jermaine Dupri and who else?
Dallas
Austin. And they had Puffy. Like, this is when interludes were big. Like, I used to live for a TLC interlude. Like, amazing. And before I came here, I was like, you know what? Like, I just downloaded the 20th anniversary TLC album yesterday or something like that. But that's not something I listen to. Like you said, you have to be in the mood to listen to old school.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say never. I'm rarely in the mood to be like, you know what? Let me pull out that Crazy Sexy Cool. But literally during that time, it was my everything. Like, when they were playing the reenacting some of the stuff on the movie, I sang it, and I was going into the next track. You know how when you love a CD, like rap or like Ready to Die, like you know what's coming afterwards. Yeah. And I found myself doing that, and I was like, oh, this is crazy. Like, it's been 10 years, 20 years, or whatever, and I still remember. So it's sick. It's crazy.
8? You give it an 8? That's
yeah, I gave it an 8. I mean, they had.
You make me want to go see it now.
They had 28 days to film it.
That's crazy. Wow.
I just read yesterday morning that it was the highest ranked VH1 original series. It was like the highest rank on like 4 different categories for VH1. What else? I'm sure the fact that they just re-released his greatest hits, that's gonna go.
Right.
Pebbles is suing, and so is the original member Crystal.
Is that Twitter thing true?
What Twitter
that
thing?
That she said lawyers on deck? Is that, you know how sometimes they make up those Twitters? Anybody check? Did you check to see Pebbles' Twitter if it was
her Twitter
really?
name?
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So
I'm not here.
on the Breakfast Club, did you see that interview?
The interview with TLC?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it. I was there.
Shouts out to Charlamagne for saying such underlying perverted and semi creepy things to Chili Ashton doing.
I love how she just laughs at everything, but she was checking them. Like, little boy, don't do that.
Yeah, she was giving them some aggressive Atlanta, but he was definitely saying so nobody wanted to shoot the club up. I said, yo, what is wrong? And he would say like little things. Charlamagne, when women that he likes are right next to him. His creep talk is like by far.
He was like, Chili has the best baby hairs ever.
The best baby
But
hairs.
she explained on The View, they had like a whole promo last week, and she explained on The View that one side of her baby hairs just lay, while the other, she needs a toothbrush.
She uses a what?
Toothbrush, like gel and toothbrush.
Wow. Well, hey, I mean, just saying. I just learned something new. The lawsuit.
Oh, what about the lawsuit on Twitter?
Oh yeah,
Sorry.
I mean, they talked
Tangents.
about on the with baby hairs, baby hairs to the lawsuit. But basically, they said that they confirmed that at least before I saw this tweet, because Instagram, she was getting murdered. Pebbles was getting murdered,
And she was quiet the whole night.
But some Twitter message, they said, lawyers on deck. And then I think Breakfast Club, they confirmed something of, they'll probably get sued for that movie because,
Well, yeah,
they could say it's a defamation of character. But they're saying it was all, that wasn't the first. The crazy thing about, I was so into that LaFace thing, like in learning about them and all the artists. I mean, we're talking about not Babyface and L.A. Reid
was getting that money.
Legendary for the rape. You know what I mean? And it's crazy because they're like one of the pioneers
Tony
of
Braxton
black
was a victim
music.
as well.
Yeah, Tony, Outkast, Goody Mob, Usher early
I
in
don't
the
know
game.
if I've never heard Usher because I mean like L.A. Reid was like his
that's
father.
like his dad.
He lived in a household now, y'all, so he never said anything about it. But I mean, LaFace was hot in the 90s.
They were good for that rape.
They were good.
They were good for that.
That's
rape.
why L.A. Reid will forever be rich, in my opinion. But T-Boss was saying, well, we'll probably get sued, but it's our truth. So, I mean,
legally, can that be defamation of character if you're telling the true story? I guess perspective of what is thought to be the true story. I mean,
this isn't the first. It's not like they made these allegations have been out since they came out and said they were bankrupt. When they had that press conference and was like, when they broke it down and was just like, I forget what Left Eye says, but she's like, we get 5 cents, and when she broke down how they get like, it was ridiculous. And when she put everybody on blast and they all had smiles on their face and they had Grammys in their hand, she put LaFace Records on blast then. So this is not something new that we're hearing. It was in the media when Left Eye was here, and she passed away in 2000?
Yeah, I believe so.
So it's been 10 years. So it's been over 10 years since we knew that Pebbles was a rapist. And why didn't she sue then? And then she made them pay $3 million
for each letter. Yeah,
and then if you watch the movie, some songs you could tell TLC redid because they didn't own the rights to those songs.
Wow.
Like just because their contracts were so jacked up, they couldn't play it in the movie, and she wasn't having that. So they had to sing some of their songs.
So you could hear they changed little words.
Oh yeah, well not even little words, but it was like it wasn't the track. Like some songs they were playing the actual track and the actors were lip singing, but it was some parts where I was like they must have recorded that for the movie.
Oh, so they redid the music so it sounds similar but not exactly to that, or just a totally different beat.
It's the same beat, but it's just live. It's not like produced in 1990, whoever. So yeah, crazy.
Well, my concern with that situation is this: that I can see her suing because I would think you have to get her consent to make the movie, the TLC movie.
You know how many movies people make and people don't have permission?
What I'm saying is to use her likeness or use her, you would probably have to get consent to use that. I'm not condoning that.
I mean, if
or
I was
anything.
Pebble, I would probably sue too. But I mean, they already went in it knowing that she wasn't going to be happy about it. Right. So I mean,
but they're not going to sue TLC. I would imagine they'll probably just sue VH1. VH1 give her a couple of dollars here, and they go ahead, go about your business.
I mean, VH1 knew how risky this was, right? Especially when they were hearing the story. They took that risk. So I'm sure they have money in the bank ready to just be like, here.
But
silence.
They're gangsters. I mean, VH1 knew that the pluses are going to outweigh the negatives on that move. I mean, yeah, Pebbles might sue you. You might have to pay her a couple million, whatever case may be. But look at how many times you'll re-air that and just continue to make large amounts of money.
That's another thing. I was listening to Russ Parr, and a lot of people were making all these comments. Oh, it was horrible. It was so cheesy. And it's funny because, like I said, I'm a tough critic. I didn't get cheese ball out of this at all.
No cheese ball.
I didn't get any cheese. I mean, that was their story. So it's not. I'm more harsh on a reality show.
Okay.
But because this was an autobiography, I mean, I just couldn't say it was corny. And it wasn't because I was a super fan. I just was absorbing it all, and I was just like, wow. Like, Left Eye's father died the same day they signed their contract.
Damn.
Like, and to see Lil Mama act that out, and I just thought it was awesome. The only reason why I gave it an 8 is because their lip syncing was not on point, and I'm a stickler for lip syncing. Like, if you're gonna do it, you do it right. And their mouths were like, the timing was off, and that irritated me so much that I had to, like, that was the only deduction. Like I said, Keke Palmer to me was the weakest link because
she sings.
Right, but when I look at her, I don't see Chili.
Yeah.
When I looked at the other two, I was like, that's T-Boz.
Yeah.
That's, and even when Drew Sidor was acting out, like when T-Boz was getting sick with the sickle cell, like all of that, I was like, wow, like I really felt like that was her, but I kept seeing Keke, like even with the baby hair, I was like, your breasts are too big, your face isn't skinny, like I understand, right? But I mean,
get your breast taped.
When I saw her, I was just like, that's Keke.
Let me ask you a question real quick. So, do you think this was the right platform for this movie?
I was going to talk about that. Yes, I do, because like I was saying on Russ Paul, a lot of people was complaining like, oh, they missed out on so much. They didn't include this. They didn't go in depth. Okay, well, it was commercials. It was for TV. But everybody talked about how horrible Notorious did. And, the Biggie stands all over America, like out of country. Notorious did not do well in the theater at all. So people think, like anytime you can bootleg something, I don't want to say black people because I don't want to make this about race. But even though people say the economy is bad, I wouldn't say. I mean, the movie ticket, depending on where you are, could be anywhere between $7 to $14. But it's so much easier for you to sit in front of your TV at 9 p.m. than to like. Ask me the last time I went to the movies. I don't know. I have intentions of doing it every week.
You would. Wednesday.
I didn't go.
Oh, okay.
Don't play me.
Okay, sorry.
Don't play me. This guy.
We're gonna talk about that too.
Oh, sure. I want to see the 12 Years of Slavery or whatever.
I heard. Don't see that. I said I heard it's the scariest movie ever.
I heard mixed reviews on that, but like I said,
we'll talk about that too.
I have intentions of going to the movies. I never go just because it's so much easier to make up excuses like, oh, I'm gonna fall asleep. Oh, it's too late. If I'm home, the TV's gonna be on, so it's nothing for me to just have it on,
I think that's very conducive for you because you are the type of person that will blow up Facebook.
Well, see, that's
and
a lot
live
of times.
Tweet and live.
That's
Facebook
why I watch
update.
a lot of things. Like
Can't do that at the movie
I
theater.
love live tweet, like live. Like I do it all. Not Instagram because that's not really the media form for
Right.
that. But Facebook, Instagram. I mean Twitter. I love talking with people. It's funny. It's hilarious.
Yeah, that's her thing. That and Thursday night. I know we gotta get here, so you gotta watch the show.
Yeah, Scandal comes on at 10.
Scandal comes on
we
Friday.
have
That's
time.
her show. All right. Well, I want to keep this thing moving. You're gonna make me watch the movie. What about you? You gonna watch it?
Oh, most deaf.
All right. And I wanted to also mention real quick that, I think TLC's legacy is almost diminished now, and it's sad because, well, actually, when you think about it, I mean, a lot of people like even before TLC, there was In Vogue was big.
In Vogue, SWV,
Yeah.
Jade,
They need to bring back the black female group.
Salt and Pepper.
There are
We can't
none
forget
now.
Salt and Pepper.
They were like the. Well, it's not. I won't even say they were original because
Magic. Now I listen to that like once a month. Express yourself.
they were huge.
Oh, sorry.
You can only see the web. If we had a web.
So, yeah, I mean, we have a long history of female groups as she sings her heart out.
Come on to work your
Oh, that's-
body. Joe wanna be like Bob. Sorry.
Yeah. So, where do we go from here now? I mean, could TLC come out today and be relevant?
No, I want to tell you why. Because, like I said, it is what it is.
I know. I wonder if they'd come out and be like, are they lesbians? That would be the thing.
Why would people think they were lesbians?
Because the way that they dress.
Today they don't dress like tomboys.
No. What I'm saying, if TLC from back then came out right now with their same
Oh, they
outfits.
couldn't. It's not.
I mean, look, let's say that they did.
But they can't. It's not the time.
I understand that, but I'm saying that that would be so much of the psyche of the people today. It might have been the psyche of people back then. People have been like, oh, they're tomboys, they're lesbians, they sleep with each other.
And you know what's crazy? I remember being in middle school when TLC came out. I think, yeah, TLC. Yeah, so I was in middle school going into high school, like with their 4 albums or whatever. But I never crossed my mind that they were lesbians. And that just shows you the evolution of how society and media plays on clothes. Because there are so many artists now, clothes are tight. You know, men, actors. But yeah, back in the day, we weren't worried about what you looked like. Like, it was good music. Today, our focus is not on your voice. It's all about image. But I mean, I don't know. But what I want to,
I think it was the same thing then. I mean, I think with them having a political message too, with the whole condom in the eye and stuff, it was about the image for them.
I
too
actually
back then.
listen. Like I feel like I'm getting old. Like,
You are.
I am. I hear things and I'm like, I can't. Like, I never knew what this is off topic. Just really fast. I heard that my sister is 13, and she told me about this Ritnos thing months ago, and I was like, huh? She showed me the YouTube video, and I was like, wow, she's in middle school.
Right.
This is what they're doing in middle school. So, I never asked her what a Ritno, what that was, until today, when, like I said, I was watching 106 in Park, because, what's my girl? SZA? Is that how you pronounce her name?
I don't know.
From
The new
TDE?
sign from.
Yeah, she's on 106 Park today, so I wanted to see her. Yeah, she's on 106 Park today. That's the only reason why I had my TV to it. And then I see this tall guy, Sage the Gemini. I guess he does this song. Never heard of him in my life. And they were talking about the meaning, and it's a red-nosed bulldog and blah, blah, blah. Pitbull, thank you. And I'm like, And me being old, I'm like, that's a weird reference. Then I talked to my homegirl. She was like, it's a bitch reference. And I was like, wow. Our youth, they're singing, grinding, basically having sex with your clothes on. And you're singing and you're dancing to this, and he's calling you a bitch, and this is what's cool. And I was like,
No, I don't know if that's true.
I can't support that.
I don't know if that's true.
So you think that?
Because I saw an interview with him where he said, anytime a pit bull grabs onto something, it always shakes his head like this. I don't know if it's like a bitch reference.
I want you to know and be smarter and know that it has multiple meanings.
Oh, now she's.
Know that it's just know that it's derogatory. Just know it's derogatory. So, yes, I get what you're saying. That's a part of it. But it's also a bitch reference. And I don't condone it. I think if you're going to do it in your house and be of age. Like, be older than 18. But for 13-year-olds and 11-year-olds to be making Vine videos, it's disgusting. It makes my skin crawl. That was a tangent. I'm sorry. But back to TLC.
I think I'm done.
Oh, no. This is what I wanted. I want Mickey's input on this. You were saying TLC today, could they make it? They were on The View. They were on Good Morning America. Again, they were lip syncing. Ugh, slays me. It's just like.
You said slay?
Slay. Kills my spirit.
SLAY.
Slays. It just really gets me. Like, T-Boz, her voice has always been raspy. It's very unique.
I love it.
They were singing with the track, and they were dancing. Slow moves was like, yeah, you're 43. I see it all in your bones.
In your bones.
And I just was like, like, you didn't need to perform this medley. Like, I'm actually sad watching it because you don't have it anymore. And Chili,
Damn.
I'm sure she was originally a dancer, so that's her thing.
Chili looks like she still could probably pull.
They
some
weren't
moves.
getting down though. But
They weren't getting down.
But T-Boz, I was just like, poor thing.
Oh, she's a mama for real. Seeing that her reality show.
Oh,
she's a
didn't it
mama
depress
for
you?
real.
Oh God,
She's a mama for real. So I'm surprised that she can do.
Her daughter made an appearance in the beginning of the movie. She played her as a kid.
Oh.
Nobody's here for TLC today. Like, we appreciate the past, but they have a new song that's like one song added to their like best of, and that's fine. But to actually tour and to think you're gonna get money, no.
Oh, I think they could tour now. They a legacy act. A legacy act.
A legacy act, how like Boyz II Men is touring 365 days, yes. But to make new material, I'm not here for it.
I mean, you know what? There's maybe. I think if you were to get, and I'd have to deeply think about who could bring them to the back. But I definitely think a guy like Pharrell. I think if you put Pharrell executive producing.
But you know what?
And
Don't mean to
A&R
cut
in
you
that
off.
project. Oh, what was the original?
My original question is if 3 girls came out that had the same.
That weren't TLC.
No, that were TLC came out today, not them being 43 years old. Back then.
Would they be successful?
Could they be successful now is what I'm asking.
I don't think
Based
so.
on the image of them being, wearing the baggy clothes. You think Mickey says yes, Chanel says no.
I say no.
Only reason I say yeah is because I think that back then, I mean, you had House Party, you had I'm trying to think of all the other movies. I mean, New Jersey Drive. You had a lot of movies where girls were dressed like the TLC thing.
Movies are different from artists trying to sell
Well, it
units.
mirrors what was going on at the time, the hot top fades, the parts and stuff. People were, people were mimicking that whole style that was going on. I think it's even more expanded than it was back then. Like even back then, I think it would be even more because there's a nostalgia that's in the music and just going on right now. A lot of people are going backwards. They're reinventing 90s hip hop and putting it back out. So I can't not see somebody TLC coming out right now. I think girls would just take to that. I just think it's a bit of nostalgia going right back to what it was in the 90s.
After we had TLC, we had Aaliyah. I think TLC rubbed off on Aaliyah as far as,
She carried the baton.
She was still feminine, but she had a tomboy thing. And then, leading up into her movies and Romeo Must Die and the last movie she shot before she passed away.
The vampire movie.
Yeah, she was like wearing dresses and stuff like that. And then you have Today. That was like the last inspired group or whatever. Then you have Seven Streeter, who sings now, very talented, signed to CBE, Chris Brown's movement or whatever, but she's inspired by Aaliyah.
She sings like that. Her style of singing.
Yeah,
and,
so she's all about the midriff and, whatever,
Yeah.
but she's still feminine. But girl groups just not, like she came out of a girl group. I forget the name of them. They opened for Beyonce a couple of times.
Weren't they signed to Def Jam?
Probably.
Was it the song with Push Up on it? Was 7 in that video?
Yeah,
with
she was in the
Fab?
group.
Yeah, okay. What was the name of that group?
I have no idea.
That was a solid single. That was
you
a
think
solid
about
song.
it. Around the whole TLC era, we had Escape, we had SWV, we had Allure, we had Total.
Allure.
So Def was hot.
Trackmasters.
The Brat.
Yeah.
But and then it was like this did air, and then it was Destiny's Child, and then it was like no more Destiny's Child, and we don't have any female groups today.
It could be done.
I think now that we talked about it, I think I might know why, because of situations like what TLC went through. Where you get dicked out of your money.
But you know what? Today, there's no excuse for you to get dicked out of your money because there's so many resources.
No, I disagree.
If you get dicked today, I blame you. He's saying dicked. What the hell is that? I get it,
Why
though.
she getting on me today?
No, I'm just saying, like, there's so many. Back then, a lot of people got financially raped in the 90s. They didn't know better. But there are so many. You can read. Come on now. Think about how many people that are going independent today. Like, you can go to Amazon or Barnes & Nobles and read dummies for what. It's so much. It's so much stuff at your fingertips. It's no reason. Like, okay, TLC said in the 90s.
But with that said,
you don't ever sign a contract without a lawyer by your side. Like, it's so many things. Like, you should not be getting dicked. If you get dicked, you're just, hungry, thirsty, and you choose to not do what people have told you.
But you're making it seem
back
like
then, they had nobody in their ear. They had no idea. Everybody was getting dicked.
But you're
Today,
making it that the game doesn't change because of that. But even with that being said,
with more resources, you know better, you do better.
But with more resources, that means more people come out. Like, everybody's a rapper now. When we were in high school, people really weren't rapping like that. Now everybody's a rapper.
We're not talking about rappers. We're talking about singers.
Well, everybody's a singer. A singer, a dime a dozen these days.
But are they lasting?
Talented. It's rare. it's more out there, but I think it's more out there. It makes it hard to sift through all the stuff. But I knew growing up, I saw a lot of girl groups. Like you had an aunt that was trying to get like 2 or 3 girls to go. You know, I think it's always been a large amount of people rapping and singing.
Mm-hmm.
I just think now you know about it. Versus back in the day, you didn't know, because there was a lot of people that rapped in my high school, but I wouldn't have known who was rapping unless I went to a party that they was rapping outside or rapping in the party. Now, because we're so connected, and this has nothing to do with what we're saying, but Donald Glover said we're so connected, but we're so alone. That is like Kanye's a powerful statement. This may have nothing to do with what we're saying, but that just was all in that. It was a close cousin to that. Like, we're so connected but so alone. Donald Glover, I might have to check you out. But I knew about his music, though, but I had to check it out deeper. Yeah. But we're connected, so it's like now that rap group that was up in the next neighborhood that you didn't know they rapped, or singing group that sung in the next neighborhood, they have a YouTube channel. They have Twitters. They have everything. So now I know about them. Exactly, you know. But I think the rape is happening, and I agree. These are people, but I still think, unfortunately, which is crazy, with as much books about how not to get raped, like title of the thing is like a jail cell, and showing Big Bubba in the jail cell, and it says how not to get raped in the music industry or entertainment industry. You still got people that get raped.
I mean, yeah, you're still gonna have people who are ill prepared and just thirsty because they like, I gotta get out the hood. This is my last resort. You know, if I don't sign it now, I mean, everybody's not smart, but to me, the percentage of rape should be decreased in 2013 compared to 1992. I mean, it should be.
Less rape.
Should be less rape financially.
You would think so, but
I mean, come on. I mean, there's idiots everywhere.
No,
so
I get that.
Everybody's not going to learn from that situation and benefit from it. Some people are going to fall victim.
No, what I'm saying is, I think that the bar has been lowered for music, period, across the board. Because, you know, whereas there was a TLC that was getting produced by the best producers, nowadays, I mean,
I was listening.
I could put a beat on. Yeah, the production has gone down. So somebody like Chief Keef or whoever can fall through the cracks and make millions of dollars. So it's not a premium on making great music. I mean, of our great artists now, we only have probably about 10 at the most.
Of our generation?
Of now.
Great?
Out right now.
Name them.
That's, I would say Jay-Z's great. Justin Timberlake.
Can we stay on the topic of R&B for the sake of TLC?
No, we don't have to. I said great artists. We don't have to stay on R&B.
My point is,
like
Mickey said,
we're talking about music as a whole.
So many hip-hop artists. I need you to tell me who's great in R&B. Because the point is, there aren't...
Justin Timberlake.
That's one person.
Okay. You're proving my point. I said 10. I gave you one. And you said break it down to R&B.
Can I have more? You just going to stop on him?
But I said great artists, not just great R&B people. R&B musicians.
But I'm asking you,
Justin Timberlake, I'll give you, let's say, what's the guy?
You don't ever leave out the queen.
Who? Who? Beyonce?
I'm about to walk out this room.
Beyonce?
Anyway, keep naming them. King motherfucking B. King. You fishing around for? You kidding?
Am I missing somebody?
John Legend, go ahead.
I said Beyonce.
He's sexist because he instantly started naming men like women don't exist.
No, I'm just going down the list of people I think are great.
Timberlake, okay.
What is wrong with her today? Like, what is wrong with her?
Just keeping it real. Go ahead.
All right. So, who do we have? I mean, you can chime in too.
No.
You're the R&B specialist.
You're right.
So go ahead. So name me some.
Great. Tweet is great.
No, she's not. I said relevant and hot right now. She's not hot. She's cold. They're not hot right now. No disrespect.
Hot is
it's subjective. It's relative.
Subjective.
But if you ask the common person,
nobody that I listen
they're not going to know who that is.
Why? If you're listening to this podcast, you should. So we're going to name them.
They're
Music lovers listen to us.
Wait a minute. Are we saying
commercially hot?
I don't.
Mainstream hot?
Yes, mainstream
my
hot.
favorite. I'm not listening to the radio. Like,
well, this is a moot point. Then we don't need to talk about it. Then
why?
Because it's subjective.
Mainstream is not where it's at.
I agree to
who
that.
Who listens to the radio today? Tell me.
I agree to that.
So you're
Locally.
saying 10? You're saying 10 R&B hot.
Hot right now, artists. I've even got to the point where I forgot what the argument.
Well. Okay, 7. 7 would be
Beyonce,
mainstream.
Rihanna.
Rihanna.
But
it's a blurred line with
this-
pop and
but with
R&B.
this-
It's a
What-
blurred
but
line.
with this,
No, 7 is
is
coming.
very talented and can
7
sing.
is coming. But she's
on
hot
the
though.
radio,
She's
and
on
she's
106 and she's on.
I'm talking about.
She's
if
hot.
you're talking about commercial, there's only Beyonce and Rihanna and Justin Timberlake and Robin Thicke pop. That's where it ends. John
and Robin
Legend,
Thicke, he's
on the 35 and older
Yeah.
modern radio station.
And maybe 3. I mean, Justin, Beyonce, Rihanna, Dave,
Chris Brown.
Chris Brown. He's mega. Even though he's seen to be falling off, he can fill out your biggest.
I'll put it to you like this: all the people that we just named have a huge following.
Huge.
Their albums are not, and I should say, Justin, Beyonce, Rihanna.
They sell records.
Right.
They sell real
The CD can
large
be
amounts of records.
the CD could be garbage, but strength of their name.
Yeah.
If you look at their Instagram, like they have 0.1 fans globally. They travel globally. So yes, it's not many people that are doing that. So you have like a handful if you want to do pop, because they're all pop.
No, it's definitely a handful. I mean, and one thing that makes it hard to judge that now is because labels aren't. Back in the day, labels were like throwing money. I mean, they were just blowing money. So you have one group, and then they just, like Jade, one album. I don't know if they came out with more than one.
Two albums.
They had 2, but I think people mostly know
Brownstone,
them for that one
I'm
song.
sorry.
You know,
That was great.
Brownstone. But it's like you'll have this group, it'll be around for a while, and then it's gone, and then they're just never to be seen again. These days, because there's not as much money, it's gonna be a lower amount of people that even get a chance to do that. So it is gonna be less because labels are not putting out the money.
But you're taking a risk. Like the older you get, people, like a lot of things are nostalgic, like TLC. I want to leave them in my past. I know they still need to make money, but I don't want Total to come back out today.
Yeah, it would hurt my heart.
Like, because you're not going to be as good as you were. Because if you think about it,
Pharrell can't do it.
If you think about like SWV really could sing, Escape really could sing, but when you think about Total and TLC, they weren't singers, they were dancers. Like TLC, that's what they were, dancers. Their voices were mediocre.
Chili could kind of.
Nobody ever was like, ah.
Chili?
Yes, Wazonda Thomas. Yes.
Chili had a little Chili.
Their
T-Boz
their voices were mediocre.
All 3. Well, wait a minute. We
Left
really
Eye
need to
didn't
only
sing.
judge between
T-Boz,
the 2.
mediocre. Have always been mediocre, but it's a package. Like you said, the beat, the producers, like they sold us. But if you turned off a track, I don't want to hear any of them sing.
1 to 10 on Chili. 1 to 10 on Chili.
Her
We're
vocals?
not gonna say she's not good.
Her vocals?
Them bridges
6?
that they never put T-Bars on the bridge.
A 6. I'll give her a 6.
Out of 10?
Absolutely.
Oh.
Her voice is not strong. It's right, exactly.
What?
Exactly.
We need to get the acapellas so we can do some defined work.
We don't need
Chili
the demos.
knew how to hit notes, though.
Notes?
Chili knew how to hit notes, man. Those bridges, they would never put T-bars on those bridges.
Love to you, baby. Let's do it again.
If we only had a webcam.
I wanna go all night long. They talk. They didn't do a
Wait
lot
a minute.
of singing.
Red Light Special? Her vocal performance
Give
on
me
Red Light
the
Special?
red light.
The
Any
bridge.
of us can do that.
The bridge, though.
What's the bridge?
The bridge went, if you want me.
If you want me, let
and
me.
then she goes
Rihanna
up.
can sing that.
She goes up.
And
Rihanna don't do stuff like that. Man, y'all just going crazy on some stupid shit. Oh my God. All right, let's move on.
Chili is a
All right,
6.
we agree to disagree
vocally.
on this.
I'm gonna get your Twitter after this. We're gonna do a Twitter thing. I want
Let's.
to find out what people.
Why don't you Instagram it right now and see? But anyway, let's move on. So let's see what are people watching on TV right now. I'm watching. My coworker turned me on to this whole Preachers of LA thing.
I've been watching Preachers of LA. Oh,
So,
God. You see it last night?
I saw last night's
Oh,
episode.
sweet baby Jesus.
It's sad. Well, the interesting thing about the show is I came in with a negative outlook on it going
so
into
did
it.
So did I.
And it's actually not a bad show, believe it or not. It's not a bad
it's too
show.
early to tell. What are we, 2 episodes in?
We're 3 episodes in.
Okay.
and I think it's a. I'm gonna keep watching the show.
So am I. I only started watching it because two of my coworkers badgered me. Shout out to them about watching it, and I was like, no, I do not want to see preachers in this light. Oh, bad taste in my mouth, whatever. So I started watching them so I could talk about it with them. And I mean, it's funny, but some parts I'm just like the man that looks like the Whispers. His name is Pastor
Big stash.
Big mustache. Yeah, him and his gangster aura is interesting. His wife, Lavette, or whatever her name is interesting. I think Dietrich Haddon is a homosexual that's just dying to come out of the closet.
Why do you say that?
Everything about him. I thought he was gay before the show. Like, I'm in the gospel. I just thought he's too flamboyant for me. He's like femme.
Well, I thought the same thing, but I'm thinking I thought that because he has like that Kanye.
Very Kanye.
Yeah.
I think Kanye's gay. I've always thought Kanye was gay.
But I just think it's
I stand by it. Him and John Legend.
I mean, I think the show's gonna be good. But I see how they're trying to turn people around.
Serious face, Mickey. I do not agree with remember maybe 2 weeks ago, the white pastor, I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
I don't know, the white pastor.
Right, but the girl who had a sex change.
Yes.
I didn't like the way he religion. I don't
Well,
really talk about
this
religion with
episode,
people,
there was a girl who was a skateboarder who actually had a sex change, and she wanted to come back and be a part of the church, and they were trying to figure out how to.
He didn't know how to address her.
Right.
She was like, "Well, my name used to be so and so. Can you call me by my name now?" And he was just like, "I feel uncomfortable. I can't." And she basically said, "Well, I don't want to continue going to this church because I don't want to have to explain myself every time I see somebody. So I'm going to another church." So as long as she's going to church, that should be his only concern. But his thing was, come back to this church. But if you can't even address this man, then you don't respect her. And God, a sin is a sin in the Bible, right?
Right. No sin's greater than the other one.
Exactly. So let God deal with her. You're trying to change her. If that's her, accept her. But all pastors are not accepting. And a lot of people talk about homosexual and things like that, but homosexuals are probably 80% of your congregation. And if you don't accept them, that's crazy. Like, they're your choir directors. They are your drummers. They are in your ministry. And
right.
I just think a lot of it is contradictory.
Right. Well, I think it's good to show that side of the church. And besides the money part, you can look at these guys and say that they're fairly decent guys.
Oh, I think that
Noel
Jones.
Who is that?
That's the guy who's been with the girl for 16 years, the lady for 16 years.
Oh, right. The one that's. Yeah.
I just think that's crazy.
Why you say that?
We're used to pastors having a first lady. So
Right.
he's basically out there doing his thing. Like, he will not commit to this woman, but when you preach, that's what they preach.
Well, that don't mean he's having sex with the girl.
He's having sex with his lady friend for 16 years, but he will not give her a title. Like, I think it's demeaning, and I think she doesn't know her self-worth.
I think she just might be comfortable.
She's complacent, very much so.
Well,
How much time would you give her? How much time would you give him, like in that situation? Well, from 1 to how 5 years, 6 years?
Before you're like, I need that ring.
they're not even boyfriend and girlfriend.
But they are. But they say, older people are together for a long time. Oh, this is my friend. I don't know if y'all have aunts and uncles who aren't together. That's like, when you get to a certain age, you don't use boyfriend or girlfriend. You sound silly when you're 50. So they say, this is my friend.
Okay.
Clearly, he's sleeping with this lady. Clearly. But he's preaching something else. So I think it's a huge contradiction.
And that dude's got like a 20,000 person congregation.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy to me. Considering everybody else on the show has like 4,000, he has like a 20,000 person congregation.
Yeah, I don't like the man, the pretty man that has like a 5-man entourage. Yes,
right.
I don't like him.
And that was a big to do in that first episode where him and Dietrich Haddon got into
When
it.
they went to the man cave.
When they went to the man cave, and that was interesting because I agree with Dietrich Haddon.
I agreed 100% on what Dietrich had said.
And for those who don't know, it was an argument about.
The pastor said that whenever he travels with like an entourage,
Right.
like 5 men, and if somebody's paying for him to preach they have to accommodate his 5 men. He doesn't come without them. Like, they inspire him to preach. They basically give him the word.
The spirit.
So if if he's not surrounded by these men,
it doesn't flow correctly.
It doesn't flow. So Dietrich is like, well, when you got the anointing, you didn't have these men around you. God is speaking through you. You are the vessel. So you know how like rappers need weed or they need their posse in the studio with them. That's not how it should be for a pastor. It should come directly from God. But when you're saying that you need 5 men, you need an army of men around you so you can receive and then give the word, that's absurd.
Right. So I mean,
that's cray.
I think. Get out. Get out. We don't use that word. Word is banned here. We don't use that here.
Swagadocious. Sorry.
So, what do you give this show so far? Like, if you had to rate it, what would you give it?
7.
7.
I'm being generous tonight.
Wow.
Chili and
wow. I mean, I see you watched it yesterday. It came out yesterday, so you watched it. So it's on your.
I watched yesterday because I talk about it the next day with my coworkers, and then my coworkers didn't even watch it last night. And I was like, oh,
you were bummed out.
Yeah, like I stayed up late to watch it, so I could talk about it the next day, like a little, water cooler talk.
So I mean, as far as music's concerned, what are you listening to now?
Yeah. Today on my way over here, I started listening to Electric Lady. I never get tired of that, but I had to put her on the back burner for a while, so I was listening to that. A lot of Pandora. Lately, a lot of Pandora. What else? I stopped listening to Drake. I haven't listened to what is it called? Holy
Magna
Grail?
Carta. Bum-ass album. Yeah, I said it.
No hip-hop. I haven't listened to any hip-hop this week.
I'm listening to Main Ingredient.
What is that?
It's an old school group.
Oh.
Back in the day. No, man. No, this I'm talking about old school. Like everybody plays a fool.
Oh damn!
Like,
sometimes, baby,
the main
no exception to the
what? Shut up, man. He texted me today talking about some old man Al. Like everybody's old man. Whatever, dude.
We're all old. Embrace it.
So let's talk about this movie that Chanel went to last week.
Okay.
Now, I found this very odd because for those who don't know, I'm trying to do a web series now, and I've been getting inspiration from certain people and places and things. It's weird how it's all coming together. It's very strange.
What's strange?
I've been getting like inspiration through certain medias, and I'll be like, I wonder how you do this, and I'll look at my YouTube feed, and somebody posted a video about how to do exactly what I was thinking about, or like in this case, I was watching. I don't want to get into too much play, but Power 106, the Power 106, Power 105, the Breakfast Club. Sorry, Breakfast. Point one. The Breakfast Club, and they had an interview with the guy from The Wire, Chris, and some other guy named Shaka King. They have a movie out, where they're shopping the movie around called what's Newlyweds, and it happened to they were all talking about the movie. It was a really good interview, and at the end of the interview, they said, well, we're gonna be showing the movie in New York, and they're also gonna be showing the movie in Baltimore on this day, and this day. And this day happened to be the last day they were showing it, and it was on the 17th. So I was like, I'm going to check this out. Next thing I know, I get an email from Chanel saying, hey, there's this movie showing. And I was like, wow, that's crazy how it's all coming together. So I go to the movies. I go get some popcorn, and I happen to see Chanel's friend, Stacy, outside. I'm like, where's Chanel at? Oh, Scandal's on. She won't be able to make it. So I'm like, oh, okay. I was like, I kind of knew. I didn't understand because she sent me this cryptic message saying something like Scandal Night or some shit like that.
Well, can I say something?
Go ahead.
A friend of mine, Stacy,
Shout out to Stacy.
She
our drinking buddy.
That same day, she sent me an email like, hey, I don't know if you're free, but might want to check this out. I work 2 jobs, so I was off for the part-time. So I was like, oh, bet, cool. Didn't realize that it was Thursday, and Thursdays equals Scandal Night. So when I agreed to going, I forgot it was Scandal Night. So I'm like, yay. So Thursday, I'm like, okay, we're texting. I'm like, see you later. I'm amped. I'd never heard about this movie, but from what I read, I'm all about the indie films black cast. I'm like, yes, I'm going.
Yes.
Give me some culture.
Yes.
So I'm at happy hour, and I'm like, okay, boom. In a few hours, I'm going to go see this movie. And my homeboy that I was at happy hour with was like, Scandals tonight. You know that, right? And I was like, so then that's when I text Al, like, no, boy, no. Forgot it was Scandals tonight.
That's a damn shame.
And it was, I regretted it because that episode was kind of like boring, and I, DVR'd it anyways, and I could have just watched it later.
That's even makes it worse. And the sad thing about it,
But I love live
Chanel
tweeting.
can walk to the movie theater. She literally can get out her
across the
door
street.
and walk right
It
to the
is.
movie theater. She can be at her doorstep and just look down and see the movie playing from her door. Literally, it's a block. It's like the next block over. Yes.
I like to live tweet. That's honestly like that's what I like. Thursdays are it for me. Like I'm like, yes, I'm anticipating it. Gladiators unite. Like I'm here for it. So sorry.
So all right. So let's talk about this movie. So this movie is based upon
The love is real.
It's about a couple who has, a love for weed, and how that weed kind of turns their lives upside down. I definitely recommend it. It's a slow one from the beginning. It starts real slow and it kind of builds up, but it's a really, really good, really, really well thought out movie. And the reason why I say things are kind of working out with my web series because I was able to talk to the director.
Oh, you did the Q&A after?
I did the Q&A.
Awesome.
I talked to him, see what kind of camera he was using. Then I talked to him afterwards in the lobby. I got some insight and told him, he used a red. He used a red cam to shoot it. But yeah, it was I recommend it. It should be coming out on Netflix in December, so be sure to check it out. Newlyweds, pretty much.
When? I'm sorry. When is it coming out?
Pay attention. Stop tweeting or whatever you're doing over
Sorry.
there. December 16th.
Okay.
On Netflix. So it's definitely something you should look for.
So what did you 1 to 10 score rate?
I give it a 7.5.
What did they need to improve?
No,
No, Mickey, we're just real.
It might have been.
I am on about now.
She trying to dig at me today. We used to be friends, me and her, man. I think she's mad because I was 2 minutes late, and I'm normally not late. And I think that really rubbed her the wrong way. But anyway, so what ends up happening is a lot of times, okay, she's doing a Tootsie Roll.
Sorry.
Those guys are priceless.
Sorry.
So
I'm a 90s.
the thing about the Charles Theater where we saw it at is that the audio can be kind of weird sometimes in the Charles Theater. It can be weird. You got to adjust to it. It bounces around and stuff, and it's just weird. So that might have taken away.
A panning effect type of thing.
No, it's just echoey a little bit sometime in there. Audio is hard to hear sometime in the Charles Theater. Some movies I think are better to be seen on the movie screen instead of seeing at home, and I think that's one of them.
I agree. So
I think that's one of them.
So it's better to enjoy that movie in the actual theater.
I think so. I think because it starts off so slow that, if you don't catch it in the first 30 minutes or so, you might go to something else and be like, I don't feel like watching this. But it's worth sticking around.
Oh, Mickey Dunn. I'm sorry. I was like, we were just talking about this, but this is his Instagram post. I'm sorry.
So anyway, I want to talk to you guys about something kind of serious.
Okay, let me put my serious face on.
Let's talk about something serious. What do you guys think about the role of the HBCU in our culture right now? Because I don't know if you guys know that HBCUs are going through a lot of hardships right now. Are you dealing with Grambling? Are you dealing with, I don't know if you know about the Grambling situation.
Enlighten us, please.
Aren't they running out of money?
Grambling, the football team, forfeited the game because they don't really feel like they have the adequate equipment, the adequate things to actually play the sports. It's all a matter of the funding getting cut. The coach that they love, Doug Williams, got cut at the beginning of the year, and they don't feel like. I think they had a game somewhere and they didn't feel like they were adequately prepared to actually, play the game because they had to rush to get somewhere. and they couldn't stay overnight to play the game to rest up. So and it's like a lot of things are going on as far as HBUs, whether it be Howard not having money, thinking about closing down. So
I don't ever see that happening though to Howard.
Really?
Like as far as alumni and stuff like that, I don't. You went to Howard?
all of us here went. All of us here went to
We all went to
HBCUs.
HBCUs. You went to HBCU?
I did.
Okay, so all of us did. BSU? No, I went to Bowie. That passed already.
So I mean, what do you think, Chanel, as far as the
How
place,
important it is in the
how
community.
important is it? Because that was the main focus on the movie. What was that? Spike Lee's movie, School Days.
I never.
That was
saw
the main focus of it, even back then.
Take my black card. I'm sorry.
So what do you think? We need HBCUs.
Need. I mean, race. I mean, we're living in a white America. Yes. So HBCUs, I guess I could say they're needed for people to feel, like they're comfortable and around their own. I went to a HBCU, but if I could do it all over again, it's one of the biggest regrets I have. I wouldn't have gone to a HBCU.
You would not have.
I would not have, only because it was so segregated. And I wish I had like white friends or Asian friends and stuff like that. Like, I'm not really a type of individual who befriends coworkers. And if I do, they're usually like black by default.
That's racist.
Maybe it is. It's my truth. But yeah, I mean, I've always wished, like, damn, I wish I had, I don't want to say any, stereotypical white names, but I wish I had some
Bobby.
some friends from other races, that I could, travel. But because I went to a HBCU, it was just like, and it was still in Maryland. I just felt like I missed out on some stuff.
You know what?
So yeah, I would have gone probably to the west. I would probably went to a college on the west side, on the west coast, and I
You look
wouldn't
like
have
a
gone
California girl.
I wouldn't have gone to a HBCU because it was just too segregated. Like I don't think I saw any white people on campus. If I did, maybe they were a teacher, but it was too pro-black for me, and I just wish I had like some other interactions with other races.
That's interesting because my experience was different. Like, we had a large amount of, not a large amount, but I guarantee it was about 40%, maybe 35% white.
Maybe I wasn't high, but I really don't remember white people on
Really?
campus. I really don't.
We had white cheerleaders. That's just interesting.
I really don't remember.
And the white people got minority scholarships because they went to our
Let
school.
me think.
You had white teachers, right? You said that, right?
I had a bunch of white teachers.
Right.
I just really do not remember.
What about you, Mickey? You
I
remember any
don't
white people that went to
remember.
your school?
We had a few. Actually.
I'm sure we
had
had a few, but maybe
mean,
they weren't
it
in
was-
my communications class.
It was better when I first got there at Morgan State University, the best. If you no, there's been 3 no
Tommy Hearn.
MSU no. You know what? When I first got to that school, it was like definitely I never saw unless I was looking at the band and there was one white kid banging
Playing the
cymbals or
cymbals,
something.
right.
I'm mad that you knew what he
Yeah,
was. He was
same.
never gonna touch the drums.
Hell,
He never was gonna
no,
make his
he
way
was
to
not
the drums.
Playing the drums.
When he tried out, they were
Maybe
like,
the clarinet.
you almost had it. You'll be playing cymbals again. But, I don't know. It got better as I was on my way out. I saw more and more of them. And I think Morgan, maybe they were actively trying to get more of a mix in because it gets to a point where looking back, I see where you're coming from on the fact that when you think about Peter Rosenberg, shouts out to Peter Rosenberg. I forgot who they were talking about, but they were talking about, I think it might have been a realness.
Mm-hmm.
And they were talking about HBCUs, going down or taking a downward spiral. And he was saying that he thinks that kids just want to go to school.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a particular, like, I just want to go to a black school.
I agree
They,
with that.
like, kids now, when I was growing up, well, I didn't care about college, like, when I was leaving high school. So I had a different mindset of my thing. But kids coming out today, they want to be in a melting pot. They want to really be in a multicultural situation. They don't want to just be at a black school. I didn't go into a school just wanting to be at a black school. Now, I will say I was more comfortable. I definitely felt more like it wasn't like I had to assimilate into,
something you weren't.
into something. Because when I would go out College Park or I would go to other schools that were more Caucasian, it was a different experience. And I did feel awkward. I did feel awkward. Now, in my earlier years, now as I got older, my cousin went to Coastal Carolina, which is a college on Myrtle Beach. Beautiful campus, great people. That was the first time I went to a school that had way more, white people or Caucasian people, and I felt a little more cooler. I don't know if it's the group of people that are going to Coastal or the culture that's coming to Coastal. It seemed like the white-black thing wasn't as much of a thing. The last time that I went to Bucknell University, I went to their homecoming, and I felt I spent time like a weekend on their homecoming, and I felt really awkward. It wasn't that anybody treated me wrong. I would go into houses, drink random beer. It was fun, but there was this vibe like
you were the only black guy.
Yeah, and there was a lot of this vibe like you're hanging around white people that were trying to like be hip hop. This hip hop culture. They were trying to be hip hop, but it almost seemed, not authentic. And then when I was in Coastal years later, at Coastal, I felt like they're listening to Gucci Mane or they're listening to like even Jay-Z, but they really like them. And it's really something that they dig because they really they feel like they really understand what's going on. So it's a weird thing. I'm 50-50 on it. I'm glad I supported Morgan because it was my mom's it was her alma mater.
Yeah.
And, I did want to kind of, as I went into it, want to continue that tradition. I like it. I probably would have went there and then went somewhere else that was a little more expansive to get both versions of what it is, but I don't know. I'm still the jury's still out for me of if I went to an all-white school, would it depend on what school I go to, what type? I guess it would depend on what type of experience. Coastal seemed a little more cooler. Bucknell seemed a little more segregated.
Right. Well, I purposefully went to a HBCU. Just growing up, very young, I knew I was going to college just by the influence of A Different World, The Cosby Show. Like, those,
you were free
it was deep. Like, if Hillman was real, I was going to Hillman.
You were going to
in my mind. I was like, oh, shit, Hillman. And then from watching, like, Teen Summit, and a lot of them went to Howard and things like that, they always had, like, college specials, and I knew they had a great communications program, so I wanted to go to Howard, but my grades weren't good enough to go to Howard.
No.
But yeah, from just watching those influential black shows and how they talked about college and the importance of it, I knew I wanted to go to a black college. But looking back, I just wish I had more multicultural experiences, and the HBCU that I went to did not give me that.
But you know what? I got a lot of... One thing I don't think I would have got at a Caucasian school or white school. I was very nurtured. And I appreciate that nurturing.
Nurtured like what?
Like, my teachers really wanted to see me succeed, at least mine.
Because they were black and you were black male. And
I do feel that, and a lot of the teachers that I connected with, I mean, we don't talk like that now, but it was still, if I saw them, we would have probably a long conversation. I mean, it's still a connection even though we're distant. it was definitely a family atmosphere. Not saying that it wouldn't happen at a white school. I don't know. I can't speak.
Higher
on
Learning
that.
was another TV show. I mean, movie.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. That was a
Even House Party.
You're right. House Party. They did.
We don't
end up
have
going
that
to
today.
college.
Like, it was cool to be in college. Like, I just thought it was cool. Like, not for the parties, but like, oh, this is the next phase in my life. So
It's there somewhat.
tell me, name some black shows or movies today that
Well,
promote
not
higher
right,
education.
right now, but what about Stump the Yard was one.
Okay.
Drumline was another one that
Yes.
we've had. There's probably some other ones
Those
thrown in
movies
there.
are like 6 or 7 years old.
Well, they come around in their little
BT
spurts.
had that reality show. Oh,
yeah, College Hill.
I loved College Hill.
I did too. I was just looking up Brittany from College Hill on season 2 not too long ago for
Yeah.
other reasons. But
Such a freaking perv.
so yeah, I mean, for me in my journey, I knew I was gonna go to a black school. I wanted to go to Florida State and UNC, but then
I'm
I
glad
went
you didn't
to
go to Florida. They're janky.
they
down there.
killing niggas left and right. We're gonna talk about it too, about the belt thing too. You bringing up more stuff. So
Can this not be all night?
yo, why is she doing this to me?
No, I'm being for real.
Wait a minute, what was said?
She said, "Don't even worry about it. It was very rude and vulgar. It was very disrespectful." So anyway, yeah, I didn't. You know, I tried out for
Exactly.
3 schools. What did she say? Nah, I missed that one. I tried out for 3 schools: Virginia State, Winston State, and Norfolk State.
And where'd you end up?
Winston State.
Okay.
I got accepted to all 3, but they gave me more money. So,
Fancy.
oh please, no.
Grants, Pell Grants.
But
Ooh,
I'm just,
Lord have
so
mercy.
I'm thinking now, is the HBCU now the equivalent of a community college, a step up from community college now?
It should not be.
You don't think it is?
My experience wasn't. I mean, I'm not well versed in other
Right.
schools, but my experience, no, it wasn't a breeze in the park. I mean, I've always excelled at academics, so I mean, I guess that was a strength of mine. But you have to apply yourself wherever you go. I mean,
Well, that's true.
I would never talk down about BCCC. Like,
No. I mean, I'm not.
I'm not-
I'm
you
just
know,
throwing
like
it
a
out there.
lot
I'm
of
not saying
people-
that it is or not, but I'm just
a
throwing
lot
it
of
out
people
there.
that went to high school with me went to Morgan, and a lot of people who went was like, oh, that's the 13th grade. I
Right.
didn't go to Morgan, so I can't downplay his learning experience. I mean,
Right.
all my friends that went they love being a bear.
Right.
But you know, because it was local, everybody was like, oh, that's the 13th grade, but I didn't go there. So
Well, I think it's any school that you grow up around, it's gonna be like that. The 13th grade. If you
I
grow
mean,
up,
freshman year is 13th grade. Yes.
but I think if you went to Chapel Hill, you lived in Chapel Hill, that would probably be the 13th grade for you, because everybody from Chapel Hill is going to Chapel Hill. I think that's for everybody. But it was the same.
Only. I don't want to make this a black thing. This is the second time we said. Somebody said.
I mean, we're black,
we don't
so
wanna
it's
do-
okay.
No. But you know how you're like, I don't want.
Yeah.
But I had to say this about my people. Why in the world if anything, you should be attaboying the HBCU. I mean, there was a time when that was the only way that you could get an education.
Definitely
so,
grateful for that.
I mean,
Open
not
doors.
saying it's a different time now, but I remember hearing that 13th grade thing, and it's like you would
Depends on what
hate-
program you're in and how you apply yourself.
Yeah, but it's like school is not it's for you to define your experience.
That's it.
And I don't know, if you want to see 13th grade, well, open your mind up to 13th grade and you'll probably see it. But look, if you go to College Park, there's people setting freaking couches on fire because their team won. I don't think that's like, why would you do that?
Right.
It's funny. I think it's funny. But, I mean, you can find 13th grade if you're looking for it. Yes, there were plenty of crazy things that happened on campus. Ninjas, super soaker, people getting hit with water balloons, but snowball fights, just all types of ridiculousness. Somebody putting snow in somebody's dorm room and their TV getting destroyed, all types of stuff. But I think if you went to any college and you catch the freshmen that are coming in there that are still growing, you're gonna get some crazy stuff. I just think black people. I think the HBCU is at a point because our culture is changing, and like I said, I think Rosenberg is right. The average kid coming out is way more expanded in connections because they're connecting through all these different social medias, and
Yep.
they're more open. You know, me, I didn't know what was going on in California when I was coming out of high school. I didn't know what was going on in Canada or whatever. You know, I couldn't see what those cultures were doing, Google them and see them, you know. And now people they now expect more from the college experience because they're connected to more people. And I think the Morgan experience, while I love it, it is giving you something that the real world is not. And that is just black. You know, it's not just black people out there. It's not just your own people. You know, at the time that it was developed and created, it was right. It was needed because of what was going on, segregation and colleges not giving African Americans the opportunity to learn, you know, side by side with people that weren't the same race. Now,
What's the first?
it's not
HBCU?
needed, really.
What was the first HBCU?
Really? I would have thought it was something down south,
I
but
did
nothing
too.
down
I
south.
thought it was down south.
What?
Howard. We're not. No, that's north.
I'm not.
Howard?
We can't. No, we can't. No, it's not. But we can't. We can't. We cannot. We can't.
And what?
We cannot. You talking about HU?
Yeah.
No, it's the South. You know what Howard is? Wait a minute. Howard is in
Baltimore
the
is not the
middle.
South.
Baltimore is the South.
No.
Jesus
We're not
Christ.
doing this.
You
We're
are
not
from the
doing this.
South.
We're not doing this. Don't lump us in with no. We're nowhere close to. We're mid-Atlantic.
We are north.
So is North Carolina's the Mid-Atlantic too.
Y'all are not the middle.
Oh my God.
You're right next
You
to South
you people
Carolina.
You
It-
people.
You
You people.
you people are so
Baltimore
look.
is not
Anything
Jesus.
listen, anything below the Mason-Dixon line. The
Now
Mason-Dixon
you want to pull
line
out
is
a map.
please.
Yeah,
Oh
screw
my.
the Mason-Dixon. I'm talking about the people. Let's talk about the people.
You don't go to Howard and go, oh, these Southerners. No, you go to Atlanta
It's
or
a
Alabama or
whole
Texas.
different-
I'm just going. I'm just going about that
No,
is.
no. The line is not you see what I'm saying? The line is not mirroring what. If you go to Baltimore.
If you go out to freaking 30 miles left of here, you're gonna be in the country. So what are you talking about? They had slaves out there.
There's a country everywhere. Every city.
But what I'm
every
saying-
state has a country.
But
where
don't
you
say
could go out
just
to
because
walk.
Baltimore is more metropolitan does not mean that it's not the South. Because Maryland is a southern state.
It is not a southern
Okay.
state.
All right.
Man. It is not a southern state. Please educate him that.
It's no.
Well,
use.
after
Philly is right there. You know what I'm saying? Four hours.
I'm gonna have to educate you. I'm gonna have to educate you guys about
3
that.
hours from Jersey. All our music comes from like when New York was happening. All our music it was like a direct connection.
Geographically, this is considered the South. But if you're gonna talk about the people, this is not known as a southern state as far as
That's
the
all
people
we're
are
saying.
concerned.
That's all we're saying.
That's not.
We're ended there. We're ended there.
We're not the
You don't say Wale's a Southern rapper. You don't say that.
You say he's a DC rapper.
Right. If you're from Atlanta, what do they say?
Yeah.
From South.
Up north.
Right.
If you're from Houston, dirty South.
Dirty South. There's no dirty Baltimore. Other than the harbor.
Right.
We can't
Trust me, Baltimore is dirty. But
My Baltimore's clean.
I told you where were we going from this about the HBCU. I think that we do need the HBCUs more so than ever to continue the traditions of the black culture that I don't think you might get at the black experience that you might not get at a predominantly white college. That's just my thing. My question is, why can't the HBCUs get the same funding as a Maryland?
Because America's racist.
Yeah, basically.
And we have a black president, but we still have so far to go.
Yeah. Way far.
Well, you just can't put it on that. You can't really put it on America being racist because we're a part of America. Like we got to do for
So
ourselves.
black
though.
alumni, we don't give back.
I guess not.
Okay.
I don't know.
I don't give back.
I don't
and
give
they
back.
send me stuff
Mickey,
every
you don't
year.
give back?
And I ignore those envelopes. So maybe
When
I'm contributing to that.
I always said one of the things that really pushes me, I do want to be, I wish I want to be successful and I will be successful. But if I ever had Diddy type money or even just enough
But
where
they
I
give
could
back.
yeah, they do. Diddy does give money
Like
to
AJ
Howard.
Calloway. Did you see his interview in the Breakfast Club?
I didn't. I glanced over it.
He went
It was
to
good.
Hampton, and he was saying how he's doing a major fundraiser. He said, at Park, it's somebody different. It's John Legend, Big Sean. It's somebody, like, they go all out. Like, they got top-notch artists for HU. This every year. Diddy throws a party. Kenny Burns. I mean, the legacy is amazing.
Yeah.
You got Debbie Allen, who,
Yeah.
the amount of success Taraji P. Henson that came from Howard is amazing. But what AJ was saying was, we all come out and we party, but we need to give back. So he's giving away scholarships this weekend. So the party is like a fundraiser. So he's doing stuff at Howard Theater this weekend. And everybody who's somebody is in town this weekend.
Yeah.
So that's a great point. Yeah, you party, but where the proceeds going? Are they just going to the club?
Or people's pockets.
Right. So he's saying that, Diddy went, blah, 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 but we need to give. So, of course, he knows a lot of people in the industry. So they're all, like, giving money this year.
If I could, I would definitely create scholarships. I would definitely donate. Even though Morgan looks like they're doing pretty well for themselves. Every time I go there, they got a new building.
New. It's always construction.
They seem like they got it on as far as money, but I definitely, and that does hurt me a little bit when you hear all these parties and stuff, and it's cool, it's great.
Should be for cause.
It should be for causes because the bottom line is Howard is expensive.
The building fund.
The building fund.
If we give our church tithes, what about these?
Yeah, and these colleges are single-handedly giving you the opportunity as an African American to get that opportunity that maybe you wouldn't get somewhere else, So for all those people that you name that are successful, rich, have money, for them
Lance
not
Gross.
to donate money back, it's kind of like, and we're talking about people that have, Diddy could drop a bag. He's starting a cable
He's given
network.
like a lot of people jobs, so it would be nice if he had a situation worked out with Howard in the communications program. I'm about to try to get a job. Actually, I'm going to go in there and see what's popping.
Oh wait, with the Revolt. Oh yeah, I just turned mine in.
Yeah, see. So yeah, all of that. But I think that would be cool. Like if you went straight to his alma mater and gave some people some jobs, like maybe some seniors or I don't know, something. You always need a reporter, So.
I could see you doing it. I could see you being a reporter on there.
Thank you.
On Revolt TV.
Oh, you already know I'm going to turn up.
Yeah.
So all right, let's change it up a little bit. Let's talk about this guy with this belt situation. You guys know about the belt?
No, please tell me.
All right, so there was a guy in New York who, a young 19-year-old by the name of Trayon something, close to Trayvon, who went to Barney's and got a belt because he saw his favorite rapper, Joel Santana, have this.
It was a Gucci because that's all he wears.
No, it was not Gucci. He had a. Louis Vuitton. It was not Louis Vuitton. I forgot what it was called, but it was none of those. But it was a very nice, expensive $350 belt that he bought.
From where?
Barney's.
Okay.
And
debit.
He got stopped by undercover police officers, and they held him and said that he
racial profiling.
Well, they pretty much basically said that he couldn't have enough money to pay for this belt. So the young man was held for 2 hours, and he's suing the. And
he should get all of his coins. I'm sorry, I'm angry. This first I'm hearing.
And he also it's a Ferragamo belt actually.
Those are nice. Those are like $400.
Well, he got his for a discount for $350. Okay. So as the black man should have done, he returned the belt. He wouldn't have got my business. I've had a situation like that before. I had to return something. But what do you guys think about that?
I think it's horrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible. I've had many retail jobs, and I've come across all walks of life. And the person that you think has the least amount of money has the most.
Yeah.
This is always a black and white thing, but this is a forum, so I'll speak freely. When you have, if you put a, if you put a white artist versus a black artist coming from nothing, getting something, right? You look at the Ravens players. They're always around town, Owens Mills, Harbor East, blah, 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 blah. When you see them flash, right? You see a white football player, looks like
Joe Blow.
Joe Blow. Has bank though, but everybody doesn't need to see it because you're much smarter than that.
Right.
Like you don't need to show what money you have because that's how you get robbed. So this whole Floyd Mayweather, that's why these people have to walk around with a lot of security, 2 chains, because you're flashy. You're asking for attention and you're asking for trouble. So
It's a Kanye West effect.
But when you look at people and you like, oh my God, look at his shoes, whatever. If I had money, I wouldn't have to have the fanciest car. But guess what? You come to my house, that shit's gonna be laid. But I'm not gonna buy a $1 million car because I can. That's not what it's about. Our principles are completely different.
That's an interesting thing. Two things I've noticed. I've been and worked at 2 different places. A place called the Snob Shop back home. It's like a kind of like a Goodwill kind of place.
Mm.
And what you realize that a lot of people that go there are rich people.
Yes. That's how they stay rich.
Rich women trying to stay rich. Or even Goodwill is another place that a lot of rich people go.
Okay, I've gotten some fly things out of Goodwill.
Exactly. And that's how people stay rich.
Especially for the winter.
But we as people, we want to. I agree with you. We want to show flash.
But yeah,
But if the man,
money is money. So when you go into these, like when you go to Saks, or if you try to go to Bergdorf Goodman, things like that.
I don't know what the hell that is.
Like on Fifth Ave, when you go to a lot of these stores in New York, it's security. Like, and yes, they're looking at you because Beyonce and these, Diddy and Mary J. Blige, the caliber of people that shop there, buku dollars. So a lot of times to go in these stores, you have to have appointments. You can't just walk up in there and like, oh, my man 2 Chainz had that on, and you know what I mean. I just saved up 5 months or summer for this. It's a different like the average Joe is not spending $500 on a belt. Yeah. So a lot of these places you have to have an appointment, which is fine. That's just how they run their business. But for you to racially profile this man and say he can't afford this, you don't know what he can afford. Right. Even if he looks like a bum. Okay, I worked in retail. If a man looks like a bum, y'all have cameras everywhere and you have security, so you watch him. You don't pull him up and tell him what he can and not. Like, I have rights. I didn't steal anything. Like, no. So they should be sued. That's horrible.
So they're doing a boycott on Barney's now.
Yes, it's absolutely ridiculous.
But you know what, Mark Echo, I'm reading this book.
Oh yes.
Yes, and I bought the real one. The real one.
Are you taking a class?
Who?
The class that comes with the book. You get a discount and it's for free.
Yeah, I wonder it's in my book.
Maybe
it's somewhere in there with that. Oh, it's on Skillshare?
Yes.
I saw him talk about it on Breakfast Club.
But if you buy the book, you get 100% discounts.
It must be in the back of the book. I'm just reading it. I didn't look in the back to see if there was anything. The pictures are amazing. The pictures are just beautiful.
I have to get it.
I mean, just the pictures give you more an idea of what he's trying to say with the formulas and stuff. But that interview,
branding yourself.
So branding yourself and all the ways to unlabel, yourself, because people want you to be in boxes and things of that nature.
All day long.
When they talked about Kanye, yeah, you did text me. And so when Kanye, you gotta get the real
get the
one.
hard copy.
Real one. No. I like tangible. I'm very tangible.
That's why I just
renewed
my library card.
I like the let me say that
pages.
in a different. I like touching the book, and the book is cool, and I like pictures and the texture of the book and things of that nature.
School.
The thing about like what is luxury? Mm-hmm. That thing that Echo's saying, and it's so crazy because Donald was talking about it today, the glass ceiling. Everybody's talking about that glass ceiling of what it is. The only thing that I always thought this, like, if I got rich, I'm not saying I wouldn't have bought expensive items, but I would have been never to the level, because that's not even my character.
You're going to spaz out because you've never had this amount of money, but it's going to be a short period and you're going to snap back to reality.
I've struggled for so long, and I never was the poorest guy. Maybe like lower middle class type of situation. I wasn't the poorest guy, but I've dealt. It's kind of weird. I've dealt with poor situations, but I don't think we were poor.
I understand.
So, it's kind of like I've experienced things that showed us we didn't have any money.
Average people have budgets, right? Like, say somebody's like, we go to Miami next month. Most people need to plan for this.
Yes.
Like, you're kicking out $600. You're not just gonna go to your bank account. You know, you
Yeah,
gotta
yeah,
be like,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
well, let me pay my bills first. Make sure my car insurance. Make sure I got gas, food in the fridge for
Exactly.
leisure. So if I all of a sudden won a lottery, and I no longer had a budget,
Oh, wait. Let's talk about my man. Kanye getting engaged.
blasphemy.
I think that's so
not
funny
blasphemy.
because like he was playing his own songs. The orchestra was playing
Such a
his own
vain-
songs.
Vain.
You didn't see the clip?
I didn't see the clip.
He played the song with "Knock You Down" with him and Carrie Hilson, but he just played his rap part. But the orchestra like played the melody.
And they
with
played
his-
All the Lights too.
Yeah, all
I
the
heard they
lights,
played
and they
that.
played a Lana Del Rey song.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was he rented. For those who don't know, he rented out the Giant Stadium.
And they're mad now. They said they're gonna jinx him. I'm like, people are so invested. Like
He rented out
She-
the
San
the
Francisco,
the baseball team
and
he
he
re-
wrote, "Please marry me." Like
On
that's
the
how it was
Jumbotron.
spelled with 17 million letters.
Yeah. So good for him. I'm not, good for him. I think Kanye West is.
Everybody deserves love. Like
Damn near
their love
crazy.
does not affect us. I don't know why the world is so angry.
But Twitter was funny. All that stuff was pretty funny.
They had some Twitter comments on the. They're so evil, man. Let that man love. He really makes me think. How much you cannot look at someone's previous situations. As guys, we're so raised to like judge women on what they did before
when you guys have a whole bad history.
We have horrible histories that are just very, very horrible. And, socially, we always are cool. It's cool for a guy to have many different women at all the same time and just be just
But
sowing your
that she's-
seeds. but
Everybody that she's been with, she's
been in a relationship. That's a crazy thing.
Unlike
as bad
guys.
as she gets, she gets so many derogatory type of statements. But the fact that, if you were to look at it objectively,
If she didn't make a sex tape, she wouldn't. I mean, that
Yeah.
was just it.
the sex tape was
We saw
probably-
it. We saw
And Ray
her
J,
get
you know
smutted
what?
out.
Ray J, that was mad lame. That's mad lame, man.
I hit it first.
That too is
leaking that
mad
video.
lame. Rosenberg probably put that out the best. That's the lamest. I mean, that's too. Ray J, that's mad lame. Putting on a tape of your ex-girlfriend is lame. And they hit it first, having a model look like your
Yeah,
ex.
isn't it funny how?
Don't blame Ray J for that, because I blame both of them, because you can't distribute something like that without consent. I'm just saying.
So you're saying Kim knew?
You can't distribute that for profit without consent from both parties.
Well, it's not a known fact that Ray J leaked it. This is just what the black community believes. So it's basically acting like somebody stole it from them, and that's how they distribute it.
Yeah,
Because
it's possible.
both of them deny having to do with the leaking of that video.
Yeah.
But we know better.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go with that. I'll go with that. That probably. I mean, it's sad that is. Yeah, people leaking. I think there was some girl recently that was a celebrity that leaked her. Well, tried to make it look like she was leaking it with James Dean.
He's talking about what's the girl from Teen Moms, Abraham. What's her last name's Abraham, but she tried to make it seem like, oh yeah, we were just having a good time, but yet your camera set up perfectly. Come on, babe, let's do this. You want to put it in my ass? Like, come on, man. He's a porn star. You
That
know what I'm
was too
saying?
much.
I'm just saying, like, you got a scene where she's got a scene in like a
'Cause
limousine.
This is what Al lives for.
I'm not gonna go there with you, but it's just so contrived. And
I
I
want
think
money, so I'm just smiling.
Yeah, it's just been bad in eyes. She's never been bad in the eyes. So,
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's. I don't know if I could. I wish them the best. I don't know if I could marry a chick that has a sex tape that's out that everyone has seen. I don't know.
Your ego wouldn't allow it.
Yeah, because guys, the fact that no one's seen your girl that naked, no one has seen you, smash your, have, sex with your girl. You haven't seen anybody else have sex with your girl. Of course, people have had sex with your girl. or did things with your girl, but you never saw it with your own eyes. And I think guys can sleep well at night knowing that. But when you know the guy, or you see the guy that has had sex with your girl or wife, it's an uncomfortable feeling because you know that he may have did things with your wife that is before you.
Unless you're a virgin, somebody has already done some unmentionables with your lover.
Yeah, someone anything that you've done has been done, and maybe not all of it, but there are some things that have been
Somebody popped her cherry before you did.
Somebody definitely popped her cake.
Or areas of her are not virginized. The list goes on. Sprite has a cranberry flavor. I'm sorry.
Well, I guess we got to end the show because she's definitely not listening anymore. All right, so
She went to a little spiel.
Nah, she's in her pre. Nah, she's
All right, so can I
she's in her pre-scandal mode.
Can I
now.
close the show out with something?
She's getting everything done.
We have 4 minutes.
No, this is how we close the show out. You got to sing your favorite childhood theme song from your favorite show.
Oh, okay.
Kick it off.
Whatever happened to predictability? The milkman, the cable boy, evening
Paper
TV.
boy?
That's where I'll stop.
That was good.
That's
All right.
one of them.
All right, that's it. I guess that's it. We'll end it with that.
Does anybody know where that's from?
Yeah.
Oh,
Full House.
yes.